Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up my football gods here today. How you doing on this Thursday? We're going to get into talking about the defensive line, something that's near and dear in my heart. We have to figure out how the hell we're going to stop the run. The bugaboo for the Dallas Cowboys for the longest time. Dare I say since the 90s with Leon Lett. But before I get to that, I have to go ahead and make amends for some things. I got to check the birthday list. Yesterday, my troubles seem so far away. Yesterday was Sheila Brazil's birthday. I remember yesterday evening, I said it on the fireside chat. I apologize that I did not do it yesterday morning, but yesterday morning was before I got that colonoscopy. We got that out of the way. We are good to go. The pipes are good. After all of that stuff that we ate during the season and all, the pipes are still good. So we're great there. But Sheila, I hope you had a great birthday yesterday, and happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Hope you have many, many, many more. All right, I'm feeling great with, I'm getting this keto rush, by the way. I'm truly in ketosis. You guys are in trouble. I literally feel like I'm on crack or something. I have so much energy. It's not even funny. So I'm going to be doing today something extra special. In fact, I'm going to be doing it in about an hour from now. But I think what we'll do is we'll do a live stream this evening to premiere it, because this will be big. It'll be big. So I'm going to say tune in tonight at 6 o'clock. If you're a fan of Joe Boo Sports Report and a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, you will want to see this. You will definitely want to see this. So I think I'm going to do it 6 o'clock Eastern. Anyway, here's where we are right now. The Dallas Cowboys are autopsying the body. We are autopsying the body because this patient, the 2021 season, is dead. And when you die, you have the coroner go through and figure out what he died from. Well, he ate too much damn pork, smoked too many cigarettes, drank too much. Okay. So for the next guy, you understand, don't eat too much pork. Don't drink too much. Stop smoking cigarettes, and you'll live longer. And that's what we have to do with the Dallas Cowboys. We have to figure out what went wrong with the Cowboys. The defense turned around. I don't know that anybody had a bigger improvement than the Dallas Cowboys defense did, going from basically 29th in scoring defense into, I think, number 7. The problem for the Cowboys was, come playoff time, we always seem to get gashed against the run game. We don't have the mules, in my mind, consistently to be able to compete. And so now as we start trying to trim the fat, because we have to get some cap space, we have to figure out, should I stay or should I go with a lot of these players? We have to say, is this guy going to be good enough for us to be able to build our team around? Or do we need to replace them, hopefully with somebody that costs a little bit less so we have more money to spend elsewhere? And here is the problem with the NFL. You have so many things that you must do that you've got to make sure you put a little money over here, a little money over here, a little money over here. It's kind of like a financial advisor will say, you want to put your money in different buckets so that way you're covered against different things. Put some over here in real estate. Put some here in more riskier, stocks and bonds or stocks. Okay. Then you want to have some over here in cash. Then you want to have stuff that's more, stable, because see, the real estate, you always tangibly can grab a hold of that. You got it over here, your high risk stuff. The thing about the high risk stuff is it goes down fast when the economy goes bad, but it also jumps up real fast. So you have the potential here when you take those high risks of getting a bigger return. Then you have your more stable ones that are over here. they're not going to drop a whole lot no matter what the economy does, but they're not going to grow real fast, not like the risky ones. And then, of course, cash. Money is the key to end of your woes, your ups, your downs, your highs, and your lows. And so you always had that cash no matter what else. Some people, of course, have some gold because, well, they want to have gold because you can carry that around and you got some money because it weighs like a mother humper. And that's what you have to do with football. You've got different buckets that you can put your money into. And one of those buckets that the Cowboys always seem to do is they forget about the bucket, which is the defensive interior line. I did a video yesterday because I talked about the big fix for the Dallas Cowboys is we need the big nasties. We got the edge rushers. We've always had edge rushers. But the problem with the edge rushers is this. Your edge rusher's job every play is to get upfield, to make sure you keep everything in the pocket, to get to that quarterback's ass, to swat the ball down, to get the sacks. They get the glory. And because they get the glory, you pay attention to getting those guys. But really, where the defense is really built are the guys that you don't notice. That's the guys in the middle. And here's the thing. If you don't have those guys in the middle that can pound the offensive line, that can keep them from moving to occupy that space eater, people are going to be able to run on you. They're going to get to the second level and make the big plays. And we have not had those guys. So for me, in my mind, in free agency or in the draft, and here's the thing that's crazy. When I look at the draft, we all know there's certain positions there will be runs on. There's certain positions. Quarterbacks, there's always going to be 2, 3, or sometimes 4 of them taken the first round. Okay, so if you're sitting here 24, okay, if I'm not getting a quarterback, that moves me up to 20. Wide receivers, there's going to be 3 or 4 wide receivers that taking, right? If you're not in the market for a wide receiver, then that moves you to like 16, okay? 16, right? Edge rushers, there's going to be like 2 or 3, maybe 4 edge rushers. Okay, so that moves me to about 12, right? Moves me about 12 because we're not looking for an edge rusher. We're not necessarily looking for a wide receiver or quarterback, right? If you don't say left tackle, let's just say hypothetically, you weren't looking for left tackle because you believe Tyron Smith is the guy. Those left tackles are truly going to go. Because, see, these are the premier positions. So that would say move me to about 8. So if you're not looking for a tackle, if you're not looking for an edge rusher, if you're not looking for a quarterback, and you're not looking for a wide receiver, that leaves 8 people picking in front of you. Now, there's some positions that there's not a premium on. So if you're looking at, say, safety, hypothetically, probably safety's not getting picked before you are. Or if it is, you're going to be able to get at least the second best safety. Just well. Because a couple of guards will be taken in there, maybe a right tackle, so maybe a running back. Somebody will get crazy and get a running back in the first round. When you start looking at safety, interior defensive line, interior offensive linemen, you're probably going to be able to get like the second best prospect. If you're talking about interior defensive linemen, you may be able to get the best interior defensive lineman prospect on the board at 24. You follow my logic here? If you're looking at a quarterback, more than likely at 24, you're not getting better than the third or the fourth best. And there's a big drop-off typically from the first to the fourth, although, sometimes the ratings aren't there. But you understand my logic here. And so if you are one of those teams that say, I got to get a left tackle, we say we're trying to get a left tackle, at 24, we're probably looking at maybe the 4th best left tackle by the time you get to 24 because probably the top 3 will be taken. If you're looking at safety, probably you're looking at the top prospect. So you're able to get better talent. So when you start talking about getting better and better players, I'm not saying that there's a defensive interior lineman that's worth a first-round pick. But you can use that same logic going into the second round. In fact, if I went back through the year that we drafted Tristan Hill, if you looked at safety, we could have had guys like Warren Thornhill because we had all those safeties and things that were sitting right there because safety was not a premier position. But you look at those safeties out there and where they're playing, they're some of the top safeties that are in the NFL. And maybe it would have behooved us to have taken that safety because we could have gotten the second best prospect in the second round at safety. Instead, we got Tristan Hill, who was very raw and not quite one of those high prospects. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So as we go through here and we start trying to evaluate what we have, two guys that we have, and we have to figure out, can we rely on these two guys to be starters as our interior defensive linemen, or do we have to upgrade? There's another player out there that we had, Brent Irving, who actually was playing really, really well. Unfortunately, he ended up getting injured. Maybe the Cowboys think about bringing him back. I don't know. He's one of the free agents that we have. Looking at the prognosis, we'll see what they do. But we look at Tristan Hill. Tristan Hill and Neville Gallimore. Dirt cheap because they're still on their rookie contracts. Tristan Hill basically is in a prove-it year for the Dallas Cowboys. Look at this. Dirt cheap. Tristan Hill, $1.5 million. That's it. Neville Gallimore, $1.2 million. You know both of them are coming back. It's not a question on that if they're coming back or not. They both are. But the question is, are either or both starter material? Now, if we look at Tristan Hill's numbers, now again, both of them unfortunately were injured. And the problem with being injured is if you're not able to do training camp, that's where all the contact happens. Once the season starts, you really do not do any real hitting except for the games. You have one padded practice, and padded practice is not like what we had as padded practices growing up. These things are pretty simple. You don't tackle guys to the ground. You don't really hit and go full blast. So for Tristan Hill, who missed all of the offseason dealing with the ACL, and then coming in late in the season, he played 6 games. It still takes time to get over getting that ACL. And that's where I caution people that say, oh, well, Michael Gallup might be ready to start the season. You might be ready to start the season, but that leg is not necessarily ready like it was. It takes time, sometimes more than a year, to truly get over having those surgeries and getting back. Yes, you can be out on the field, but you're not quite there yet. So when you look at Tristan Hill, who did not play that much time this past year, okay, in 2021. He played in 6 games. He ended up having 3 hurries, 1.5 sacks. Let me pull down this. Get to the real stats here. He ended up having a half a sack, 11 combined tackles, 4 assists, no tackles for loss, and 3 quarterback hits on there. That's kind of pedestrian, but I will say I don't think Tristan Hill is going to be an every down starter. I think he can be a rotational player. I think he will get better, but he's got to show a lot more. And for him, it's really a prove-it year for a contract for him. This year, the incentive for him is I must play great if I want to still be here or get with another team. So you may see him bump up, but I don't think that he is going to be the guy just yet. But that's not to say that he won't be. He's got the size, he's got the strength, he has the speed. The question is, with the 3 years that we've had, it's been kind of disappointing. And a lot of that is because of injuries that he sustained. And that's not to the player's fault. It's just not. But he's got 27 tackles, 17 solos, 2 tackles for a loss, 8 quarterback hits. You're not building a defense that's going to be stout against the run with those kinds of statistics. Neville Gallimore, again, same type of problem. Neville, unfortunately, hyperextended his elbow in training camp. which we were hearing that, oh, well, he might be back after 3 or 4 weeks. Well, it wasn't. He wasn't back until late in the season and only played in 5 games, where he started 4. Now, here's the thing. The Canadian Bulldozer. I've always loved Neville Gallimore. It was tragic that he hyperextended his elbow in preseason because I think we've only scratched the surface of what he could do. In the 5 games that he played, he had 1.5 sacks, 13 combined tackles, 5 solos, 8 assists, 3 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits. I know what you're saying. You're boasting about a guy that had 1.5 sacks? Yes, because, see, that's in 5 games. If we were to project that out over a 16-game season, if he just had those numbers, and remember, he ended up missing all that time and all that practice of really getting into gear. If you actually work that out to a 17-game season, you're talking about 44 tackles. You're talking about 10 tackles for loss. You're talking about 5.1 sacks, and you're talking about 6.8 quarterback hits. For an interior defensive lineman, those are outstanding numbers. With his speed, his strength, and his size, that ends up being a really good run stopper. Because remember, your job of being one of the big nasties is not to get the glory. Your job is to push the pocket, to keep those big offensive linemen from getting to the second level and allowing your linebackers to make the tackles. That is the key, my friends, and we have not had that in forever. So I look at it and say, you got one of your tackles, one of your bookend tackles in Neville Gallimore. We just got to get him healthy and stay healthy and let him get a little bit stronger in this offseason. The good thing is he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear in this offseason, and I look for him to make a big jump next year. And so that's where we are. Now, before we get out of here, I want to go to the playmaker and Rich Eisen, who the playmaker, he was having all kinds of fun yesterday with Rich Eisen, saying that the Bengals remind him of the Dallas Cowboys.
I love dearly. I will be spending way too much time with him on Super Sunday.
Right.
He joined us right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Pro Football Hall of Famer, 3-time champion, courtesy of Tradezing joining us here. Michael Irvin.
Yes.
Good to see you, Michael.
Man, it's great to see you. Great to be here, Rich. I mean, Rich, that's the real deal.
Yes, and also the we on the set is the actual Vince Lombardi trophy. Go ahead, you can lift it. And
well,
if you want, Michael, you want to say hello to an old friend right here?
Because I have a few of these. Mine don't look quite like this.
Well, this is the real thing.
Yeah, this is the real Dilly Willy. I know. This is
what do you think? I mean, that's how we're rolling right here.
I've held up 3 of these.
Careful. Whoa, got to give it back in one piece.
Rich, I got much practice holding these things up. I've held up 3 of them. Hey, if some other people come in here and do that, then you get nervous because they never held this thing before. But me, I've held this thing. I've made love with this baby.
I was about to say, is there anything that you can, safe for airing, repeat the conversations that you've had, or you want to have a conversation with the Vince Lombardi Trophy right now?
After we won that first one, I laid with the right of my arms like that and kissed her, and we went to sleep just like that one night. You know, because you dream about it all your life. All your life. Since a little kid, you've been dreaming about it. Mm-hmm. And when you finally win that thing, man, it's an amazing, amazing feeling. Somebody's going to have that feeling Sunday.
Yes, sir.
It's their first Super Bowl, because we don't have many guys that have been here. And certainly, I don't know any really that won a Super Bowl. So it'll be their first and the first opportunity to win one, man. They will have that feeling. That's so crazy for me to know that.
Now, last night when we were hanging on the set for 2 hours, Super Bowl opening night together, you were making an analogy about your first Super Bowl journey and what the Bengals are on right now.
Right.
And I thought to myself, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I never thought I want to do the NFL Network thing forever, and I know you too, and I want to do it forever with you. I never thought I would ever hear from you. You know, the Bengals are kind of reminding me of my first Super Bowl jersey in my first Super Bowl journey. And it kind of does, though, right?
And it's so amazing because they're a young team, just like we were then. And everybody thought maybe they were a year away, you know, and they were going up against a Kansas City Chiefs team because we were going up against San Francisco, who was really a dominating team. So when you get over that hump, it's like, man, we got over that hump. We get in the Super Bowl. They're practicing at UCLA. Let me tell you something. In all my years of being around football, in football, the practice we had at UCLA was the first perfect practice I had ever been a part of. It was a perfect practice. I knew that Wednesday. I said, we're about to, we're going to spank that ass. I knew it Wednesday. I'm telling you, that was not a ball that hit the ground on Wednesday. I would love, boy, if Cincinnati had one of those kinds of practices, well, you could run to Vegas. I'm telling you, that thing is serious. If they had that kind of practice, because, and I said, UCLA, man, that's the last time a Super Bowl was out here, and we dominated that game. I don't think it'll go that way for Cincinnati, but this is, Rich, the year of the Tiger. You know that. Everybody's been telling me that. It's the year of the Tiger, the Bengals, the Tiger. So it'll be interesting, man. It will be mind-blowing. Let me tell you something. I said this last year, Rich, and I say it this year.
I love this. Go for it.
There's no way that if you are the Los Angeles Rams, that you can let this team come in here and win this game. There's just no way.
There's just no way.
It's just your home field, guys. It's not. You can't control your brain. You can control your actions, but you can't control your brain. You can't tell your brain to stop thinking. Oh, you say stop thinking that, but your brain, it does what it does. So now, if I let you beat me here, every time I come into this stadium, I have to remember that. My brain, it will go back to that. So I have to beat you now to make sure that I'm not living with this for the rest of my life. This is your home stadium. You cannot watch other people catch confetti in your home stadium. All next year, you will be watching that during games. That's all you will see. It's impossible. I would be, boy, whoever has to block Aaron Donald, this is going to be great to watch.
Or unless you're the one blocking Aaron Donald, right?
Unless you're the one watching that, blocking Aaron Donald.
That person's family.
And anybody, right, anybody in the family, because that's going to be something. You imagine how he's going to play this game. He's already tasted defeat in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And that, my friends, I'm going to leave it right there, is what the Dallas Cowboys need. We need an Aaron Donald. We need a Vita Vea. We need a big nasty in the middle that will make those outside pass rushers that much more effective. So with that being said, I got to get ready for something big here coming up in 30 minutes. And you know how we roll. It's time to roll on out of here.
Watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe for the Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!